okay. It may be my new favourite episode of the show. That was insane. That is nuts, man. That wasn't. Oh my god, this show is something else. It's just completely like caught me off guard. My body like seized up. Like multiple times, like chills. My body doesn't know what the fuck's going on. My heart was dropping. It was in my throat. It was everywhere. It was probably in my foot at some point. Fucking hell, man, dude. I can't grasp how amazing this show is. How it's so good. What an episode, man. What an episode. Like it was unreal. Like there was that specific shot like after like fucking hell, we'll talk about it, but after his head got blew off. Like that sequence was so well done. It was amazingly well done. Well done, Mappa, because, oh my god, man, dude. Like, they've had their critics, you know what I mean? They've had their critics after, you know, the first half of the season and everything like that, but, I mean, come on, dude. That was unbelievable. So, I mean, where the fuck do you start, man? Where do you start in that? I'll get one little thing out of the way. The opening, because I'm obviously not watching the opening itself for spoilers, I'm just listening to the lyrics, and it seems as though this song was specifically written for, I think a lot of the openings were, but the lyrics, obviously being in English this time round, is like, you know what I mean, I can hear them, and you know what I mean, it seems as though, just judging by the opening lyrics, that they are actually talking about this story, which is cool. Not like oh god, like nothing went how I was expecting. Everything caught me off guard in this episode. Like the only thing that didn't was the scream, because I figured Zeke would be, because of the situation that they find themselves in, you didn't have the luxury to basically accept that, you know what I mean, it's just unfortunate. It did stop him for a second, like, you know what I mean, but it just became a thing where he was like, it's just unfortunately, yeah, sorry, this is how it has to be. So that means that, you know, like, that's Niall and Pixis gone. That's them gone. Damn, dude. I like fucking Pixis as well. Niall's not going to be able to get back to his family either. It actually got scary again for a second. Like, there was that moment where they all turned, and there was like just a little part of the episode, like the episode after they turned, where it was like they were back in, and it felt so much like season 1 again. It was a great little, like, sort of like almost like a flashback, but happening in current time. Like, it was like the Titans were scary again. Because, I mean, when was the last time we actually saw, like, Titans? Like, just the normal ones, you know? I mean, well, I guess it wasn't that long ago. It was, you know, it was when Levi and them, you know, but I don't know. It just felt like back in season 1 again. Really, it really did. That just, like, scary nature to them was back. And yeah, I mean, Colt just refused to stop. Like, refused to get away from Falco, and he's dead as well, which sucks because I liked him. Fuck me, man. And then that whole following sequence after that, where it was so well done, man. Like, he charged after Reiner, and then you have this whole thing where he's holding down Eren, trying to stop him from getting to Zeke. and then he's holding down Falco. We know the connection there between them, and you know, Reiner's having this like internal panic inside him where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like he has to be the one to end Falco. It's insane. And then seemingly Zeke gets shot again, but of course we know that he doesn't. And that kind of puts Reiner almost at ease. It's like, well, that's Zeke out the way, so now Eren can't make contact with Zeke and then therefore use the Founder's power. So he kind of, it's like he accepts his like, basically accepts Falco to eat him to be the next Armored Titan. And yet again, he refuses to die, man. Reiner is like, you can't kill him. He just doesn't die, man. But the whole sequence is unreal, man. I mean, from start to finish, this episode was fucking phenomenal. 10 out of 10. All day. There was in season 3, there was like 2 episodes back to back that made it onto like the best episodes ever list. And I imagine this one will be the same. I imagine this one, it's bound to end up on there as well, because it's unreal, this episode. It's got to be my new favourite. So then Galliard basically gives up. He gave everything. And with Reiner wanting to, basically appease Porco's brother and protect him, ultimately, failed because he gave himself up to Falco. Again, like, nuts. I mean, Falco's Titan's weird, and it's got that like elongated neck. It's crazy. So he's the Jaw Titan now. I figured something like that would happen. If it was going to be the case where Falco was going to be a Titan, that he would come back as one of them, and it ended up he's the Jaw Titan. During that time where Reiner's gaze was, focused on wanting Porco to not die because he wanted to protect him for the sake of his brother that he failed to protect. That it basically gave Eren time to, essentially what Zeke said is use that strategy of essentially killing off your Titan and acting like it's, we've seen that multiple times. We saw it when Eren took Bertolt out of the Colossal Titan in season 3, where it makes you seem like they're down there and they're not. And then he comes out the back, he ends up running, and time slows down. Gabby's there, like shit, and he gets shot straight through the neck, and his head came off. Like do you know when your blood rushes and you're kind of like, your hearing becomes like more, it seems like the decibels like of everything kind of heighten. Like you become like more alert. Like that's essentially what happened to me there. That's exactly what happened to me. Like you know what I mean? Like everything became louder. I was just in shock. Like 'cause obviously my blood was just rushing around there. I was like, it's not an image I think I thought I would ever see. I didn't, because I didn't know what the fuck was going to, because in your head you're like, he can't die, right? He's not going to die right now anyway, right? It just isn't going to happen. So when you see it happen, your mind races for reasons as to why it couldn't happen. Like there has to be a wave, like there's something, there has to be something. But as far as we have always been aware in this show, if that happens to you as a human, you're fucked. Like that's not like a, you know what I mean? Like that's something that you can't come back from. But his head flies, and then you get that amazing unbelievably well animated. Such a beautiful like sequence where like time is essentially stood still, and you're going through memories and everything, and you know it's you know looking at everybody's like reaction, and you know every so often it cuts to going down like the street towards where that happened, and it's just it's such an amazing sequence. And then we go to, you know, essentially flashback to when Eren and Zeke were talking for the first time, and he gets thrown the baseball, and Eren doesn't catch it. So it's kind of like almost like symbolizing that whole thing of like, because Eren didn't catch the ball, it's kind of like Eren knew from the very beginning, like that was the sign that, you know, that he's not on the same page, like he's not going along with Zeke's plan. And I feel like that's when Zeke actually recognized it as well, because he didn't catch the ball, because he must have done at some point. And then the juxtaposition of coming back from that flashback, and essentially Zeke caught Eren's head. Now, obviously, like a baseball, the symbolism that I get from that is that Eren didn't catch it, didn't catch the baseball. Zeke caught Eren's head. So even though Zeke was playing him, he still isn't willing to let him go. Like he's still clearly loves his brother, and is willing to, you know what I mean, to try and fix that. So even though he knows that Eren's trying to play him, he's willing to accept that and try and fix it moving forward. So he catches the head, which immediately connects them, and they're taken inside the inside that world where the paths converge, the pathways. And yeah, I mean, the whole time it felt like Eren was in control, and the script flips, and it turns out that Zeke was actually playing Eren. That Zeke was there, like in there for so long, that he realized that it's, you know, that Eren was the key, and it wasn't Zeke at all. Because Zeke has that royal blood within him, he's actually the one that is connected to it regardless. So he's the one that can command Ymir. And it's not the fact that, you know, Eren has, you know, he has the founding titan, but he doesn't have the blood. So it turns out that Eren is the one that's the key, and it's Zeke that's actually, you know, he has full control over Ymir, and therefore, God, it's just insane, man. So he, it's kind of like he was just waiting for Eren to say it out loud, so that Zeke knew that he was right all along, and then therefore he could come out and basically just, you know, do what he was going to do anyway. He's the one that has the power. And while sitting there that long, realizing that he actually did have the power, he was able to nullify that whole thing of, you know, the king in the walls, and that whole thing of renouncing war and everything like that, that was essentially forced upon the person who ended up having the founding titan power, as long as they were royal family and part of that sort of bloodline. He was able to completely nullify it, and it doesn't exist anymore. And it seems as though he's creating a new one. That's what I got from that. So correct me if I'm wrong, or if you thought of it as any way different. But what it sounded like, he says, "I'm going to fix this." So almost to me, it sounds like Zeke is willing to impose another will onto Eren somehow. I guess with him being in there, he's able to do it directly to Eren, to kind of force him. It's almost like forcing him to submit, almost in a way, like forcing him to feel the, like, you know, to have the same will as Zeke in a way. That's the way I took it. I could be wrong, but it felt like, you know, Zeke has all the power here. You know, we've learned that, you know, memories were taken away from, like, you know, the people, and from everything that was going on beyond the walls. So as long as you're Eldian, you can You know what I mean? You can be affected in different ways, and memories can be, you know, taken away, and seemingly the way that it's implanted. And I think that's what Zeke's going to do. He's trying to do with Eren, so that Eren is on side with Zeke, and therefore he can basically have his, you know, that sibling relationship that he wants. And he wants Eren to be alongside him when, you know. But I mean, this is the thing, is like, if that was the case all along, why wouldn't Zeke immediately come out and say, like, order Ymir to euthanize the Eldians then? If he had the power all along. I mean, I know that he had to have Eren there to be the key, but he's in there now. The key has unlocked it, so now surely all Zeke has to do is give that order and it'll happen. So I don't know. Unless he has to basically enforce this will that he's seemingly going to give to Eren. They both have to agree to it, maybe, I guess. And that's why. And then obviously that's where it ended, so we're going to have to wait for, you know, the next episode to see exactly what the outcome of this is, because I don't know how Eren would get out of that, you know? I don't know if his will's just that strong that he might be able to disregard this will on him, but I don't know. So yeah, I mean, in that whole space, I don't even know what to call it, really. I guess you just call it the pathways, really. So basically, in that place, you have Zeke talking, you know, about, like, basically to Eren about Ymir, and that she has no will of her own, so she only takes orders essentially from the royal family. And that's the kind of weird thing, I guess, because then where does it start? Because we know about, like, you know, by stories that were told, like, Ymir was the founder. But then, like, how does this power come into being then? You know? If Ymir's, like, you know, because it was this whole thing of, like, Ymir was the devil or something like that beforehand, right? I don't know. I guess it could be something that's always left up in the air and you never truly know where it originated, but the idea is that she doesn't have any will of her own, and she only, you know, when you call upon a Titan, which is essentially what they do when, you know, if they essentially hurt themselves to, you know, to become a Titan. From the way I took it, the idea is that when you do that, you're essentially calling, like, almost like calling to Ymir to get, like, to have that sort of Titan. And that's the reason, like, why, like, you know, Zeke said that she essentially makes the Titan, she creates them, and seemingly with the soil, and that's the reason why Titans seemingly just come out of thin air and kind of, like, dissipate back, you know, dust to dust and all of that. But yeah, so it's a cool little, like, sort of thing that, like, she's like the you know, the creator, that she creates, and that's how they come out of thin air. God, I just love this show, man. I really, really love this show. Oh, you know, I never thought, like, that, like, there would come a day that, like, I just, because I love Death Note so much, right? And I just never thought there would be one that would eclipse, like, my favourite show of all time, Death Note. I think this has done it. I think this has done it, man. Like, I can't not say that. Like, the whole show is phenomenal. And I know that everybody who is watching this, like, right now, everyone reacted the same way. Like, this is one of them. I mean, most episodes people come to watch, you know, but this is one of them episodes, isn't it? This is one of them episodes that is like, people want to see reactions for. Because from start to finish, it sends people's emotions, like, everywhere. There wasn't, like, it's insane. I think, oh god, I think the only other episode, like, of this show that is, like, the whole episode has, like, had me floored was season 3 episode 17, the one where Armin dies, right? But you have that first battle between Levi and the Beast Titan and that, and but, like, it's just, like, from start to finish, like, flawed, you know what I mean? And this one is just the same. Like I still think, like, you know, regardless, like that was obviously my favorite episode of the show. This one, this one's it. This one is it. This episode is my favorite of the show. I just feel like it's. I feel like it's perfect. I really do. God, what else? Well, how did you know, Mikasa and Armin come in to actually, you know, fight alongside. Armin actually almost got hit at one point. Thank fuck he didn't. There was just some awesome scenes. Mikasa coming in like that, sort of like. I mean, I've only saw it once, but from the sort of like the visual of it, it's like she's going back, and it's like a double sort of like backslash thing that she does. It looked fucking, it's so amazing. Looks so cool. Amazing, yeah. Fucking hell, man. I love this episode. I really, really love this episode. So yeah, I mean, going forward, this is the thing, right? So Gabi, you know, I've dropped the hatred for Gabi. I did have it. But it has like just dissipated. Because Sasha was like Sasha was the sort of like the light-hearted girl, you know what I mean? Like it was the one where like that it pissed me off because of who she killed. I think that's dissipated. It was kind of dissipating in the first half anyway. Like, I did just come to terms with the fact that, yeah, it just, you know... Mainly because she turned herself, like, you know, by being on Paradise and, you know, spending time with Sasha's family, everything like that. Like, her feeling about the whole thing changed. And that's where, you know, but she went through with what she wanted to do, which was essentially kill Eren. And seemingly, according to what you would think, she has done it. But this is the thing, is like the idea that because that connection between Zeke and Eren managed to happen, he'll be rebuilt. The interesting thing is that, you know, cut off, like a head cut off is insane. We've seen like interesting things with Titans, that like one that sticks out to me and how I feel like it's kind of similar but not. There was a moment in season 3 where Reiner kind of cut off like synapses and stuff from his Titan brain, right? He kind of like cut it off, remember? And he stopped it. I can't remember the reason why he did it, but there was that moment where he did. And so I'm thinking, in a similar sort of vein, this is kind of that way inclined. The difference being, obviously, it's not a Titan head, it's Eren's head. It's actually his human head. But that's my only real way of because that's my only way of thinking, like, how you're going to bring him back into the real world, you know? Like, he has to be repaired with the soil. Like, Emiya's going to have to repair him that way inclined. We know it can happen. Like, we literally just saw Zeke, like, you know, in the first half of the season climb into, you know, essentially a Titan, and he was kind of, like, his body was rebuilt. It is obviously more paramount that he gets Eren gets rebuilt, considering the fact that his head's off, and it's a lot more, you know, it's a hell of a lot different. But I feel like that's the only way. Like, that's the thing, is like, because it looked so, like, Zeke was so desperate to catch Eren's head. Like, if he hadn't have caught it, maybe like the time would have gone. Like, he had to catch it like immediately for that connection to be made, and then therefore Eren can still come back. But it's just insane, man. Like, how this is going to... God, like, I can't wait to see, like, how people are going to react mad. Like, fucking Mikasa's going to go insane. Fucking Armin's going to go insane. God, like, Jean and Connie, Reiner, you know? Because yeah, he's been trying to obviously, you know, take Eren out and everything like that. But like once it's actually happened, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, man. How's Falco gonna be now that he's the Jaw? Fucking hell, man, dude. There's so much shit going on. I think Flock's still alive. Flock was obviously, you know, flying around Peak Car Titan. And Peak actually maneuvered her body to actually use the turret to actually hit one of them. It wasn't Flock though, I'm sure, because it was blonde hair that whoever got hit. But man, this episode was insane. It was so well done. I love it so much. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. I don't know how I'm going to edit this, because I'm going to have to take stuff out, obviously, for the reaction, but I don't know. I don't know. God. Okay. Anyway, that's all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, I mean, the whole time it felt like Eren was in control, and yeah, I mean, the whole time it felt like Eren was in control, and